Good morning. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms. And this morning, it's just me, but I want to talk about something that we have going on this summer. And I wanted to just take a moment to explain, like what is the big idea, right? So let me put the URL here on the screen. Okay, so in June and July, we're doing a project we call Charter a Summer of Learning. And if you go to this link, it's sachartermoms.com/summer-learning, and you'll see an event calendar. And as you click on each day in the calendar, there's a different activity that you can do with your kids. And so what we wanted to do was present ideas that are low cost, that don't take a lot of materials or supplies, that and they're designed to work for different ages. So each post has an explanation of, like, this is how you do it with preschoolers, this is how you do it with grade schoolers, this is how you do it with like teens or high schoolers, just so that to take away whatever obstacles you have. So now the big idea is that our options are kind of limited, right? A lot of stuff is still closed, or even if things are starting to open up, some of us don't feel safe going to public places. Like, we feel safer being at home. So the question is, what can we do to keep learning? And not just for the sake of learning to make up for maybe if there were gaps from remote education from the spring, but also because learning is a way to have hope. It's a way to kind of build for the future. And what I found for my kids and for myself is that if we have a goal, if we have a project and we work on it together, and we solve whatever problems we're facing while we're doing the project, that we have a sense of accomplishment. And it's part of feeling competency. And if you get that feeling of flow, like, you kind of lose track of time, and it's just a really good feeling. And it can alleviate to the sense of boredom or frustration about the things that we can't do, because you feel like you're doing something that's leading towards something, right? And I've talked on this in these chats and on the blog about how that even though there's a lot of stress and a lot of concern out there, right? If people are getting sick, people are losing their jobs, there's the digital divide. I mean, there's a lot of struggle out there, but what we can do with our own families is try to make this time meaningful, and hopefully our kids will have good memories from this. And it's an opportunity to pass on some life skills, things that we'd like our kids to know, but that it sometimes feels like we're just too busy to take the time to do it. So that is the big idea. So let's see, let me type in another banner so y'all see like this is what the project is called, is Charter a Summer. You had to work the charter in there, right, for the catchy name. But sort of our working title for it was Summer Experiences. And I want to say I could not have done this without the help of Laura Idle, who's part of our team. Hello, Laura. And she's my assistant. And even though I have not seen her face to face since March, but we check in every weekday and work on this together. And also, another important thing about this is that although Laura and I are writing some of the posts ourselves, and other contributors, like recurring contributors like Becca McNeil, who's she's known as Hall Monitor on our site. So she wrote a post. So some of our recurring contributors are working on it, but also we've asked a lot of people from from the Charter Moms community and some dads to write posts as well. And that way it's been really gratifying for me. As a way, it's a project we can all work on together, and we feel like we're helping our community. We're giving families inspiration, and it strengthens bonds if you have a shared project to work on together. So it's really helped me avoid the feeling of being isolated, just from spending time at home, just having like a joint project to work on together. So I think that's a big takeaway from this. So if you are feeling a little lost or discouraged, and it's okay to take some time to take care of yourself and and rest, but you might consider, like, what is something you've been wanting to do, what's a project you can tackle, and who can you enlist to help with it. And then working together on it gives you a sense of teamwork, and that's it's been very gratifying. So okay, let me talk about what some of the I've got this up on another tab. Okay, so I'll just recap the posts that we have up so far. We started the post on June 1, and our web developers worked really hard to get the calendar organized, and we have folks working on graphics, and so just bringing all these elements together. So our very first post is about fairy gardening, and that we had Iris Gonzalez of Startup San Antonio wrote that. She makes fairy gardens in her backyard, and we had a Charter Moms chat on June 1st. And so you can read the post, you can also watch the video, and Iris gives a little tour of some of the fairy gardens in her backyard on her patio. They're just really cute. Okay, the second post we did was about introducing your kids to jazz. And our author for that is Barry Brake of The Jazz Protagonist. And also you might hear him if you're a listener to Texas Public Radio, the classical station. He has a show, Classical Connections, in the afternoon where he features a lot of like local classical music. But he is a jazz musician, and he chose 3 different pieces and explained how to introduce them to kids of different ages. So, I mean, that's on a day like today, or the rainy day, just get on YouTube or get on Amazon Music, and it'll lift up your day. So, okay, so our third post is about film studies. And we were so lucky to have Nathan Cohn also from Texas Public Radio. So he is a VP there, and he's the guy who manages Cinema Tuesdays. Now, Cinema Tuesdays has been postponed to July, but they're still working out the details on that. But you can watch movies at home, and the movies that Nathan recommends are pretty easily available, either like on Blu-ray or on different streaming services. And he's got suggestions for different ages. So you could have a movie night tonight. Okay, then we had Troy Peters, who's the director at YOSA, Youth Orchestras of San Antonio, and he wrote about appreciation for classical music. But one of the wonderful things about Troy is that he really doesn't see boundaries in music, like classical music versus hip hop versus pop. Like, it's all music. He just loves good music. So as you look at the suggestions in his posts, they're super fun. He's got some really cute stuff for young ages. Yeah, that's a really good one. Okay, so let's see, that first week we rounded out with math games. So Vicki Leach she runs Tutorsaurus Rex, and she's one of our really active group members at the San Antonio Charter Moms discussion group on Facebook. So really, we lean so much on folks like Vicki who share good ideas. I know she's coordinating a math camp this summer, and she's been talking with group members about how they would feel safe about having their kids in an in-person camp. And so she really contributes a lot to the discussion. So thank you, Vicki. Thank you for writing the post. And she talks about the game Oh Snap. And so all you need are some popsicle sticks, and then you write stuff on it. She describes how to do it for math, but you could actually use it for vocabulary or other types of things. So it's a really good way to practice an academic skill, but make it fun. And if you have any anxiety about, did your kids fall behind during the spring, this is a time, even just a little bit each day, it helps your kids stay sharp. And, if they can practice those math facts, they'll be ready to get a running start in the fall when school starts again. So over the weekend, that first week we had a weekend post. So Becca McNeil, also known as Hall Monitor, they've been picking up nature boxes. So these are craft kits with nature themes from Walden Pond. It's a kind of a kids activity center. It's on Avenue B by Breckenridge Park. So it's a tiny little place, but if you know Breckenridge Park, you've probably seen it. But their in-person classes and camps were closed, and so they were offering these boxes you could pick up and take home. And so Becca talks about how to use these with kids, but you can get inspiration from that about how to basically gather these materials and set up an invitation to play for kids. And she's got some cute pictures of her kids too. So, and then we had a post about Magic Theater, about using your imagination. So Magic Theater is doing virtual camps, and Laura Applin is a friend of mine, a dear friend. She's a marketing and PR pro, and Magic Theater invited her kids to take virtual camps. And so, but it's more there's more to it than you might realize, because they talk about mindfulness and movement exercises, breathing, and so it's this feeling of if you feel like you're stuck at home and you're cooped up, your imagination is a really powerful tool to break out of that. And it's been a game changer for her as far as changing your kids' outlook. Okay, so then we had a post about how to host a neighborhood book swap, and so Carly Friedman she's a college advisor at St. Mary's, but she's also a mom who lives not too far from me, and she had a book swap, and she had it in her front yard, and so they practiced social distancing. But she said it's been like the highlight of their time during the pandemic because she actually got to talk to neighbors about books, just from enough distance, but they were able to, what a great way to like reinforce reading and, get your kids some new books. You get some new books. You get to talk to your neighbors about books. I think that's one thing that Carly loves above all else is talking about books. She's really active on the Goodreads app. So we had a post about, let's see. So Promesa Academy Charter School is a new school opening up this fall on the website, on the west side, and their founder, Ambika Dani, she has a background as a math teacher and just has this wonderful sense of like wonder and discovery about math, like in nature and in games, and so there's just so many good ideas in there about like as you play board games with your kids, like the kind of how to open their minds about math, things like brain teasers, about like if you go on a nature walk and that way you can see patterns in nature. So that's a post to like keep coming back to because there's so much richness to it. Okay, so we partnered with Texas Disposal Systems, which they work with a lot of school districts to take out the trash, but there's really more to it than that because they teach, they provide curriculum to help kids understand about recycling and about composting. And so the idea is diversion. You divert trash away from the landfill to these other uses. And also one of their companies is Gardenville. So they have in the post and in the chat with Greg Beal that we talked about how you can go to Gardenville and you can get materials to plant a garden in your backyard, which is a great thing to do when you're stuck at home. You can tend your garden. They have a curriculum you can download so you can talk to your kids about how recycling works. They have really cool videos like behind the scenes about how they're composting and recycling and like how they make mulch, like just really cool. I mean, especially if you have like for young kids who just like seeing big machines work. It's really cool stuff. And they have coloring pages. Like one of the things I didn't know was that they actually have exotic animals like zebras at one of their facilities. So go figure, right? The things you learn. So there's a coloring page with the exotic animals on it. Okay, what else do we have? Nancy Sheridan wrote a post about teaching your kids financial responsibility. This is a really in-depth, I was just blown away by the resources that she found. And then our chat, Nancy just has so much heart. I mean, teaching about financial responsibility is such it really tests parenting because, it's a tough subject and you have to treat your kids with love and you have to let them make mistakes and let them learn from mistakes. But the idea is that don't avoid it, but just start with things that are doable. And so I really encourage reading that post. And I learned so much from Nancy. We're going to implement some of that stuff at our house. Okay, so we had a post also about, this one was really cool. Okay, so a skill that your kids can learn over the summer, depending on their ages, they can start to learn to play, or they can learn Microsoft Office. There's a free version online if you create a OneDrive account. So it's free. And they can, Steve Chase from Sequentia Solutions he does a live demo in the video of like how you can create a chessboard and then you share the chessboard, you make it editable, and then your friend, or you send the link, you can actually play chess online for free. It's really cool. He also talks about how you can get certifications with online testing instead of in-person testing. So, it's a way keep building up your skills and, have that sense of that you're building, that you're accomplishing something. So we partnered with Basis Charter Schools, and one of their school leaders from Arizona joined us on Charter Moms Chats and demonstrated a chemistry experiment in her kitchen. And it's how to make elephant toothpaste. So it's basically a reaction with hydrogen peroxide, but it makes like all this green goo that comes out of the green foam that comes out of the bottle. So it's really fun, and you can do it with ingredients that you probably already have around your house. So if you just need to alleviate boredom and talk a little bit about chemistry with your kids, and she talked about how it's important that, especially with young children, that they get the idea that science is fun and that it can spark their curiosity. So, and then the post yesterday, Laura wrote how to teach your kids to clean a bathroom. Right, this is a life skill that they need to know. And she found like these really cool things like printables and like tips about how to make a caddy that they get with cleaning supplies, or like how to put their bathroom stuff in a caddy so it's easier to clear the counter so they can do the cleaning. And I mean, it's just really practical things. So, and now I'm working on a post about typing. So my kids have been learning typing, and so that's going to be up sometime today. I gotta get working on that. So that's a recap of what we've got so far. We have some cool stuff coming. We have so like this weekend is the summer solstice, and so we've been experimenting with cooking stuff in a solar oven. We succeeded with s'mores. We have not yet succeeded in baking a potato in the solar oven. We will keep trying. I don't know if I'll have it solved in time for the post, but at least I can. And that's part of how science works. Sometimes it doesn't go how you expect, but you can keep tweaking it, keep learning from it. And then also this weekend is Father's Day, so we have a heartwarming post about Father's Day coming up. So that's a recap. I mean, there's a lot more stuff coming. So just keep an eye out on the event calendar for new posts to keep coming. We're planning to run this through the end of July, and then we're going to kind of switch to more back to school content. Because everyone's got a lot of questions about what back to school will be like. We just don't have a whole lot of answers yet. The schools haven't really. Most of the schools have not announced what things will be like in the fall. So, given that there's so much in our lives that's outside our control, I think having these activities that we can do with our kids and have some joy and have some discovery, and we're really grateful for the partners, the people that are working with us. So now we have a few slots open. So if you have the urge to write and you have an idea you want to share, then message me. You could probably the easiest way to find me is on Facebook. So Inga M. Cotton on Facebook. But if you leave a comment on this video, I check the comments, whether that's on YouTube or on Facebook. I will be looking at the comments. You can also direct message me on Twitter at SHRMoms. So if you have an idea for one of our remaining slots, we have a lot of posts in the pipeline, but we've got a few slots left. But the goal is that we want them to be educational. We want them to be fun. It can be over a broad range of topics. We've got, right, you've seen some, typical academic things like reading and math, but also some things about life skills and some, things like arts and crafts and cooking and, just there's a lot we can do, right? There's a lot we can't do. There's a lot of things that are still closed. There's a lot of things that, even though they're open, I don't necessarily feel safe doing them with my family yet. But there's a lot of things we can do. And I hope that my kids are coming away from this with, with some good memories and not with a sense of fear or dread, but the idea that there is a brighter future around the corner if we just work together. So that is what we are up to this summer with Charter of Summer Learning. Let me put the link back up there. So I hope you will visit the site. I hope you will spread the word about it. We're going to post about it on our pages, and we want to keep the momentum going. Make it a good summer. Okay. All right. Thanks for visiting. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.